Picture this: a perfect HOA nightmare where an entitled Karen steals my family's longtime lake access, then completely loses it when I buy the entire lake and start charging her $250 just to stare at the water. It all started 6 months ago when I thought the biggest problem in my life was my recent divorce. Dealing with my ex-wife felt like checkers compared to the four-dimensional chess match Brenda Whitmore, the HOA president of Willowbrook Estates, had planned for me. I inherited my grandfather's modest two-bedroom cabin in Pine Ridge, Colorado, built back in 1962 on 3 acres where deer outnumber the neighbors. Grandpa Joe used to tell stories about swimming in that lake every summer since he was a kid, back when the biggest debate was whether trout fishing was better at dawn or dusk. That place was my sanctuary. The morning mist rolling off the water, the smell of pine needles mixing with coffee from my thermos, the crunch of gravel under my work boots on the old dirt path to the shoreline. As a union electrician with calloused hands from honest work fixing real things, this cabin was basically my entire net worth after the divorce took half of everything, even my favorite coffee mug. My routine was sacred. Wake at 5:30, strong coffee, then a few laps in the lake before the world demanded anything. The water was crystal clear, about 100 yards behind my property line. 15 acres technically owned by Ezra Kowalski, a 70-something hermit who'd lived on the far shore longer than some trees had been growing. For 60 years, families with historical access used it respectfully. Everyone minded their own business like civilized people. Then developers built Willowbrook Estates, 43 McMansions squeezed onto former meadows, each trying to outdo the next. Lawns mowed at dawn, people driving $80,000 cars 3 blocks to Whole Foods. Brenda Whitmore, the fake blonde HOA tyrant, real estate dynamo, and professional life ruiner, ruled it all. Think Real Housewife meets small-town dictator, always dressed for cameras, driving a white BMW X5 colder than her smile. Her premium lakefront lot had no actual lake access. They built big but forgot to own the water. The first time she appeared on my dock, I was dripping wet like a content dog. She clicked her designer heels and said, "Oh, hello. You must be Derek," all fake concern. She lectured about liability and property values, scanning my cabin like it personally lowered her net worth. "Someone with your background understands," she said. "Lady, I wire the houses that keep your lights on." A week later, a chain-link fence blocked the path my family used since Eisenhower. Gleaming posts, concrete footings, every no trespassing sign perfectly placed. But 20 years troubleshooting taught me every problem has a solution. I hit the county records office and confirmed. Lake belonged to Ezra, separate parcel. HOA had zero claim. Brenda had already offered him $50,000 for exclusive access. I visited Ezra, his cabin weathered, rusty hinges surrounded by ancient firs. He recognized me as Joe's grandson by my calluses. He was fighting cancer, medical bills at $47,000 and climbing, insurance denying coverage. Brenda talked down to him like he was simple, offering peanuts that wouldn't cover treatments. I dug deeper. Colorado prescriptive easement laws recognize rights after 18 years of open use. My family swam their 60 years, path worn smooth by bare feet and poles. Then Brenda posted a security guard, poor Bobby sweating bullets, apologizing but needing the job. Brenda rolled up in her golf cart, jewelry flashing, calling me unauthorized person, creating liability. I documented everything with photos. Turns out her fence crossed a public easement, 3 feet onto county land. 48 hours later, code enforcement made her move it or face daily fines. Her meltdown was epic, screaming at inspectors while the mountain wind seemed to laugh. But that only made her worse. She called me a vagrant, held emergency meetings with deputies about security threats. She stalked me, offered Bobby $1,000 to catch me breaking laws, took telephoto photos, even reported me to the state licensing board with bogus complaints about my work. Inspectors cleared me every time, one saying it was the most thorough false complaint in 20 years. I stayed calm, documented swims with timestamps and GPS, built my legal case. Meanwhile, I helped Ezra, groceries, repairs. He showed me old papers from a 1950s, 60s, mineral lease for natural gas under the lake. Company folded in '87. Rights reverted to him. Geological surveys showed significant reserves, potentially $2 to $3 million in today's market. I could have bought cheap, but conscience won. I told him the truth. He laughed at how Brenda missed the real value while chasing surface rights. We partnered, 60% him, 40% me, leased to legit companies. But first, by the lake before she did. With help from lawyer Tom, librarian spy Margaret, Inspector Carl, and nephew Marcus, we structured Pine Ridge Lake Partners LLC, mortgaged my cabin, used mineral rights as collateral. We closed fast, same day Brenda was showing houses. She tried everything. Private investigator digging dirt, confronting Ezra at chemo, bribing Marcus with $85,000 plus forged papers, emergency injunction claiming dementia. But independent doctor confirmed Ezra sharp as ever. At closing, Marcus played recording of her bribery. Her voice clear. $85,000 cash today. Papers I've already prepared with his forged signature. She shrieked fraud, but we signed. Date Orsh. Monday, she led 23 residents to take back the lake. I offered $50 per person day use. She called it extortion. Margaret revealed the mineral millions. Local reporter arrived. Brenda lunged at the camera, sunglasses flying into the water. Deputy confirmed private property. Trespassers leave or get charged. Brenda's golf cart owed $50 parking. She screamed she'd see me in hell. Deputy, private owners set fees, basic rights. 6 months later, sunrise paints the lake gold. Ezra, cancer in remission, teaches his great-nephew to fish from the dock my grandfather used. We generate steady income from responsible leases and permits, fund conservation, scholarships, festivals. Wildlife thrives, loons call at dawn. Brenda fled to Denver after viral meltdown, probation, community service, cleaning bathrooms. Her McMansion sold cheap. Sometimes the best revenge is building something so good your enemy's kids wish they could join. What would you do if your HOA tried stealing access your family used for decades? Drop a comment. Bonus if you've got HOA drama.